diabetes and the effects of diabetes and some really, really sad stories. Nobody wants to be that statistic. So I had just the most wonderful conversation with Dorris Woods, who's written a book called How to Prevent Diabetes. I beat it and you can too. Get inspired, get tested. I think that's part of the problem. She'll probably say that people don't get tested. Get moving, get fit, because that's exactly what she did. And she's got all kinds of credentials behind her, so she knows it to help us. She's got a PhD, she's an RN, and a CS, and who knows what else. Dorris, I didn't realize that, but when I did some research on you, boy, you have done a lot.
Well, I've tried.
I like that. I tried. And you did more. You did more than try, though, when it came to diabetes. So tell us what happened that shook you up enough that you thought, okay, I got to do something.
Well, I had a lot of background with diabetes. My family's diabetic, and I work with a lot of diabetics in nursing and teaching. And when the doctor told me that I was pre-diabetic, I was surprised. I was really surprised. So I decided that I can do something about it, which a lot of people don't know. They take it as fact that they are diabetic. I'm diabetic, so I just need to be treated.
And when you realize that, okay, you're pre-diabetic, I got to get in front of this, one of the first things that you realized is you had to attack the weight loss. So how did you do that?
I needed an exercise that I could do and enjoy doing, so I took up walking. And after I started to walk, I decided that I was going to do the marathon, so that took several months of training. And I signed up with the LA Roadrunners, and I took on the hill at the Los Angeles Scenic Outlet, and I just kept walking. And then when I finished, I tested very low. My sugar was very low over the last several months, and I was no longer pre-diabetic.
Wow.
Not only that, I had lost 41 pounds.
Wow. Congratulations. So I just want to paint this picture for people who don't know, because I've been to L.A. and lived in California. The hill that you're talking about, this is not a little molehill. This is one big hill.
One big hill. And it overlooks Los Angeles. And on a clear day, it's a beautiful place.
And it's a climb. It's steep. So when do you remember, take us back to that, because this is what people are thinking, like, I hear what Dorris is saying, but this is tough, and I'm not motivated to do it. What was it like the first time you went up that hill?
Well, the first time I went up, they have the steps. There are steps, cement steps. Some are too tall to step up and down on, so you don't do those. But I found the steps was more than I wanted to take on. So there's a path that winds around the hill. It goes around the hill. So that's where I would end up most of the time, is walking around this hill. And you can take your time. There's no rush. And also the street. There's a street that goes to the top of the hill. You can walk along the sidewalk. So taking a turn on the three different things help. So,
boy, no kidding. All right, so you did that. So you realized, okay, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to exercise because I'm going to beat this sucker back.
Yes.
And then food is so important. So what did you start to do to get that sugar low?
To get the sugar low, I had to stop some of the carbs, the carbohydrates and starches, and I had to stop eating so many peanuts. Because I'm a peanut nut, so I stopped that. But fried foods, a lot of that cut out until this day. I don't eat a lot. I eat the baked foods, grilled foods, but I don't eat a lot of fried foods. And just paying attention to the diet in general, but I found that vegetables, I love vegetables, and if they're seasoned well, I could have a meal off vegetables, but not many people are willing to do that. But chicken and turkey, good protein substitutes, cottage cheese and things like that. So
look there, cottage. Yeah, go ahead.
I fed myself pretty well. I still do. I eat. As I said, I have an affinity for food, but I watch what I eat. I don't eat the bad stuff for the most part.
There you go. I like that because you say for the most part, so you can still have a life. I think that there is this thing that people wrestle with, and we're talking to Dorris Woods. She's written a book called How to Prevent Diabetes. I Beat It, and you can too. That we have to deprive ourselves, so it's like all or nothing. Like, you mean I can never have a cheeseburger again? I can never, ever, ever have ribs? I can never have a slice of chocolate cake? And it's like you're saying, you don't want that to be the norm, but it doesn't mean you can never have it.
Exactly, Kate. Thanks for bringing that out.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. And I know because I've done it where it's like, oh, it's all or nothing. I have to just be cold turkey. And you also mentioned this, that with the food, now we don't have many excuses because there's great ways to season it. Breakfasts are good. You can eat oatmeal. Aren't you an oatmeal fan? You're an oatmeal fan.
I'm an oatmeal fan, yes. In fact, when I finish the call, I will make the oatmeal for the morning.
I love it. Oatmeal with apple.
with the apple or cranberries or blueberries and some cinnamon and a bit of sugar and some walnuts. So I change from time to time, but I think that's why I like the oatmeal, is because I can dress it up so many ways.
The one thing you talk about this too, and I said this in your title, is get tested. A lot of people don't get tested for diabetes, do they?
No, they don't know to get tested. That's the most important word in that book, I think, is the testing part of it. There's no way you're going to know where you fall on the continuum unless you get tested.
Yeah, you said you were shocked because you didn't think you were pre-diabetic.
No, I was still normal. In my mind, I was still normal. And the doctor was seeing me because of my thyroid gland, not because I was diabetic or on the road to diabetes.
Right. It was because of that. So how interesting. You found that out by accident. But I think that this is important, what we're talking about, that a lot of people are pre-diabetic, and they could prevent some serious hardship down the road with diabetes if they get tested.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes,
so ask for the test.
And some people don't know until they have reached diabetes, the diabetic stage.
Yeah.
Because from 70 to 100, you're normal. So up until the time the last test the doctor did, I was normal. And then I must have crossed over 100 because she said, look, she showed me the chart. And I said, no, I didn't really want to see it because I didn't want to be there. But then from 100 to 125, I would have said being pre-diabetic. But
right.
I didn't get that far. I started working on it. And then from above 125, you're diabetic. But if you find out when you just turn diabetic, then it's very easy to reverse the process.
Right, by doing the things that you and I have talked about. Yeah.
Yes.
And here's the thing, the test is not a big deal, right?
No. Just a finger stick. And you see how much glucose is in the blood, and then you'll know if you're diabetic or not.
Right, but diabetic or not. What do you want, and I think it's pretty evident by what we've talked about, but what do you hope people take away from reading your book and the things we just talked about?
I would like for them to know that there are many people who are pre-diabetic. We know about diabetics, but in the pre-diabetic stage, it's easily preventable. And it is, if you should get diabetes, it's controllable. It's also reversible. And you should know where you fall on that continuum from normal to diabetic. And after you find out, then you take action.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the key. The perfect place to end this. Take action. Dorris Woods, thank you so much for joining us on the show, How to Prevent Diabetes. I beat it, and you can too. I guarantee there's people listening to us that are pre-diabetic and diabetic, so get it taken care of. Dorris, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate.